On the opening day of the Venice Film Festival, the red carpet is laid for the world premiere of The Reluctant Fundamentalist by Mira Nair. It's a rites of passage tale, a kind of riff on the Horatio Alger myth, assuming one accepts the premise that, in this case, Horatio Alger is a sharp-suited Pakistani immigrant who flashes a smile when he sees the Twin Towers come down. He's like the conflicted, compromised citizen of a conflicted, compromised planet.
In that moment, I should have felt sorrow or anger, but all I felt was awe. What audacity.
The Reluctant Fundamentalist stars Riz Ahmed as Jangez, a cocksure Wall Street shark whose world is in flux following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Mira Nair's yarn darts between the boardrooms of Manhattan and the back streets of Lahore as a hostage crisis blooms in the background. Could Jangez have something to do with this? Even Liev Schreiber's Foursquare American journalist can't say for sure.
But before conscience kicks in, have you never felt a split second of pleasure that arrogance brought low?
And you ask me why they're harassing your family.
I am a child of modern India, but I was raised by essentially a father who came from Lahore before partition. I was raised in the poetry of Riz Ahmed, of the ghazal, the music, and the culture, the language of Urdu that you hear in the film. But as a kid of modern India, we don't get to see Pakistan. I came to Pakistan only about 6 years ago, and I was deeply moved by the familiarity of this country, which is essentially a part of where I have come from. And I was inspired to tell a story of contemporary Pakistan. Indian filmmakers have been obsessed about the partition of the two countries, but the modern Pakistan is nothing like what you read about in the papers, which is full of corruption and beheading and terrorism and so on. The culture is absolutely absent in the eyes of the world.
I'm joined now by the Guardian film critic Peter Bradshaw. Welcome to the Lido, Peter.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good to be here.
We've seen many films that look at the aftermath of 9/11 and the consequences of that, but maybe not so many told from this point of view.
No, I have a reasonably strong memory of Michael Winterbottom's A Mighty Heart, starring Angelina Jolie, about the Daniel Pearl kidnapping. And that was a rather uneasy memory. I think Mira Nair's handling of the material is much surer and more confident really here. And I like this movie quite a lot. I like Riz Ahmed. He's a very interesting actor with a very interesting, open, responsive face.
He's also good in the twofold nature of the role. He's perfectly convincing as the cocksure Wall Street prince, but also as the self-doubting man in the shadows who comes later.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think he has this very interesting kind of Wall Street sort of Buddy Fox relationship with his handler in Manhattan, played by Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, I thought he was good. The only problem I had with the movie, the basic, as it were, the fundamental problem I had with the movie, is the terrible inevitability of the equivalence. That somebody's going to say, but don't you understand? The Americans are fundamentalists as well. And of course, there's a very clear signposted scene where the investment analyst, played by Sutherland, has to say, listen, you guys, you've got to concentrate on the fundamentals.
We are underlined.
Underlined in the yellow marker pen. Fundamentals. We are the fundamentalists here. And that brings me, in a way, to however much I like this movie, and I did, I thought there was a kind of flabby equivalence on the one hand, on the other hand, and it's all bound up in this relationship that changes, and if there's a name to conjure with, it's that changes, changes, relationship he has with his interviewer, this mysterious expatriate American freelance journalist, very well played by Liev Schreiber, who appears to have, as it were, a dog in the fight. And there is always the kind of humanist sense that, well, they've got to be buddies. This is, some sense, a kind of conflicted buddy movie between...
It's like the Defiant Ones, isn't it? With Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier handcuffed together.
Yes, exactly. So I found there's lots to chew on.
The meat of the film is absolutely fascinating. It is about ambivalence and confusion and identity in the globalized world. I just felt that perhaps Mira Nair was kind of signposting it all a little too conveniently.
Yes, exactly. My problem is, whence does this reluctance arrive?
Yeah.
Okay, we know about the fundamentalism, sure, but he's supposed to be a reluctant fundamentalist.
He's a half-assed fundamentalist.
Half-assed, exactly. He's a mono-buttocks fundamentalist. Okay, I understand. He's reluctant to be a jihadist because of his residual loyalty to the United States, and he's reluctant to be a badass capitalist because of his residual loyalty, of course, to his homeland. But is that all it is? He's just split in two, literally, as you say, a half-assed fundamentalist. Is there something else? Should there be something else about this reluctance, which provides us with a third way that he doesn't want to be a violent person?
Peter, well, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the back-to-back screenings that you're now going to throw yourself into.
Oh, yes, indeed.
But come back and see us soon.
Will do.